Hello, it's my reflections and review of the Eurovision 2023 national final season. Welcome to Matt Loves Eurovision. Please do click on the subscribe button or ring that notification bell. As always, like, share and comment below. Firstly, a bit of an apology. It has been quite some time since I last did a video. That's largely because I haven't had the right equipment, unfortunately. My stand had broken and it's just taken me quite a long time to sort of getting around to sorting that out. And it's just been very busy generally, but finally back with a bit of video just in time really for doing my my top 37 preview countdowns that I'll be doing starting on the 1st of April. But before that, I thought I would squeeze in this video, which is just to look at the national final season. So I'm recording this on the Sunday, the day after Melfest and Festival de Canção have finished, which were the last two national finals. And so although there are still, again, at the time of recording, 3 countries, Georgia, Azerbaijan and Armenia, still to release their songs, we have ended the national final season now, so we know who all the artists are that will be competing at Eurovision 2023 in Liverpool. And what I thought I'd do would be nice to have a look, perhaps doing a few bouquets and one brickbat to the national finals. I've not, to be fair, I've not been able to watch them every single moment of every single one. That I know some the Eurovision fans and the blog sites have managed to do that, but I don't know. So I've watched quite a few, or certainly bits of the finals, or sometimes the whole finals. And so these are really just my personal reflections, and certainly any omissions of national finals is not to say that I didn't like them or I don't think they're any good. It's just that these are the ones that I thought were worth mentioning. So I'll start with a couple of bouquets. So firstly was actually the first national final of the season, which is back in December, which is Vidbir, which is the Ukrainian national final. Obviously Ukraine last year's winners. This was, now Ukraine always has good national finals in terms of the quality and the range of songs that they get in there and the performances, and that was no different this year. But what's obviously made it even more amazing was that they held this national final in an underground, well, it was an underground metro station, doubling up as a kind of a shelter and as a TV station, whilst their electricity system was taking a pounding from Russian attacks, which was obviously back in December. And yet they produced a really, really good polished final that streamed in HD across YouTube, so lots of people were able to join in and watch it. So it's just a testament to just how tough the Ukrainians are and how resilient, and also just how good they are at Eurovision, because it was a really good quality final, both the songs and the presentation, and they'd even timed in the metro timetable so that it was in between songs when you heard the metros go past, so it was all very well planned. So I thought that was a really good start to the season. Quite a long gap, I think, to some of the others, and I think the other one that I want to do from the early part of the season, well, it wasn't that early, but it was still relatively early, was UMK, which is the Finnish national final. It's really been getting a lot better and better in kind of its in the quality of the songs that have been put in, and this year I think they only had 7, so it's not about quantity, but they had 7 really high quality songs. Not the widest of genres, that they kind of were, they were more clustered around 1 or 2 genres than really varied. But I think they made it, it made it for a very high quality final. It was competitive. It was a very efficient final, and also they really, really do a lot for the wider fans across Europe and the world, because they provide streams in multiple languages in terms of commentary. They make it easy to access. It's a wonderful stream. They make it very easy to access, whereas not all the broadcasters do that. Not that they're under obligation to do so, but it just makes it a lot more pleasurable experience. So in between my bouquets, I'm going to put in one brickbat for one national final, and it may not surprise you which one this is going to be, and that is Eurosong for Ireland, which was using a Eurovision edition of the Late Late Show, to choose their entry. And I think plenty of people have spoken about this. There's a Eurovision YouTuber and blogger, ESC Tom. If you don't follow him, please do. He's just got great videos, really analytical and really interesting and very passionate. He spoke quite a lot about Ireland at Eurovision, and he's Irish, so he's very qualified to do so. So I won't go into too much detail, but suffice to say, it's it's tagged on or created in a using a different format. The main presenter has very little interest or knowledge of Eurovision. It has one of these it's so old-fashioned with the way they've got a panel there who actually don't vote, but they just come out. There's so many old cliches get ruled out. If you think the UK can be bad or was bad or still is in places and rolling out Eurovision cliches about this would work well at Eurovision, or this could be the next Johnny Logan, etc., etc. You wouldn't believe how many get trotted out during this show, and it's completely unrealistic because the acoustics were bad, the general experience was low in terms of the vocals were poor, the song genres the songs were mediocre, and the whole thing just looked pretty cheap. Now, you could say Ireland's a small country, but Ireland is an incredibly wealthy country. I think it possibly has the highest per capita sort of income of any country in Eurovision. It's really wealthy. RTE, the Irish broadcaster, might not be so wealthy, I don't know, or I don't know what is that there is their priority at the moment. There may be lots of different things going on there, but yeah, it's just not working for them at the moment. And so and if you've got countries like Moldova can get decent results out of their national finals, which you try and watch them and it's like having two cans between and a piece of string trying to get access to the live stream, but they can still put it on. They still produce some interesting entries. Really, Ireland should be able to do this as well, and I feel for Ireland because the UK for so long has not been in a dissimilar position. It's going through a bit of a renaissance at the moment. Whether or not that continues is another matter. But so yes, I think there's got to be some kind of change of approach for Ireland. But anyway, that was my brickbat. I don't want to spend too long on that one criticising. My two other bouquets go to Serbia. Now, I can't pronounce the name of their national final, but that was really good. I really enjoyed watching that. I actually watched both the semi-finals because they were during the week, which works well. And then their final just a couple of days, their final a bit later. They had 32 songs overall and 16 in the final. Quite a big number, but actually the quality was really high. Actually, it was quantity and quality, and some really wide range of genres, mix of languages, some really bold and interesting songs in there as well, and performances. So really enjoyable. They had the national final kind of had quite a UK focus, which was had some interesting moments of the presenters doing a Bucks Fizz cover, and of course they focused on the Beatles, some look at the Beatles, and did some Beatles covers as well, obviously. But yeah, really, really enjoyable. And Serbia seems to have really found its sort of mojo in Eurovision in the last couple of years in terms of its sort of what it's doing and a real confidence. It was a very competently produced show. It looked good. It looked slick. It was very good. I was very impressed. And my final sort of bouquet goes to the very final national final of the season, which was Festival de Canção, which is in Portugal. I think people that follow my Twitter know how much I enjoy Festival de Canção. It's so refreshing and different from all the other national finals. It's really the quality has been really good over the past few years. I think obviously winning in 2017 has probably just helped that even further. But they have such an interesting mix of genres in their final and their semi-finals, and so many so many of those genres or songs are unique to Portugal, and yeah, bring some interesting and I think I like what Portugal bring, because they don't go, what's going to work at Eurovision? They just go, what do we like the most? And I think that's quite a refreshing one. It's a really chilled national final as well. They sort of pack all the songs first, and then there's a lot of talking goes on, and so you get sort of other Portuguese acts coming on, and they had a really nice. So they did a Beatles covers, obviously, and got all the acts sort of doing that, which is quite sweet. But then they also, unlike any other national final, also focused on Liverpool's other sort of bands and musicians that have come from Liverpool, and did a really good set. I think it was David Fonseca did like a set which covered all sorts of different genres and bands and singers from Liverpool, which was really that was a really nice end. Although people were probably waiting to get the results because it was quite late by the time we got the results. But yeah, I think it brings the national final season to a sort of very pleasant end. And so yes, it's been a long one from mid-December to now, kind of in early March. In terms of other things, I've missed talking about. I've missed talking about kind of the slogan. I've missed talking about the great the draw ceremony, which I thought was really good on primetime TV with Rylan and AJ. I thought it was a lot of fun, and then of course we've had. Well, I won't talk about tickets because that's just. It's still a bit up in the air for me at the moment, and could be a sore point depending on how things go. But I think preparations are underway. I think Liverpool are going to throw a huge party. In terms of my videos, every year I do my top. Well, however many countries are entering, which is my personal countdown. So they're not reactions. They're sort of reviews. They're just. There's one way of me doing a preview of the songs and a way of ordering them. So I just put them in the order that I like the most, and so sometimes you get some really good songs may not be near the top, but that's just how I see them. And then also I'll talk about kind of how I think they might do without my views on it, without whether I like it or not. So, but they'll start on the 1st of April. I'll do a bit of a preview of the previews as well, and then I don't know whether I'll do any more in between that, but. See if something interesting comes up that's worth talking about, I will do. But otherwise, I hope you've enjoyed this quick cant through some of my thoughts on the national final season. And yes, do join me again very soon. Take care.